Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered several Vinesauce levels, so in this part, I'll be doing my third Wily challenge run. In this run, I'll be going through a medium-length fortress on the hard difficulty setting. As was mentioned by multiple viewers, the number of starting lives you have in this mode is dependent on both the difficulty selection as well as how long the fortress is. First up is Skyscraper by D-Master. Initially, during my first two runs, I thought that the number of lives you started out with was only dependent on the difficulty setting. And because I only started with 10 lives, I'm not sure if I'll even be able to complete the fortress. It all depends on what selection of levels I get and how difficult they are. Remember, in the Wily challenge mode, the selection of levels you get is completely random. So not only do they run the gamut in terms of quality, but also in terms of difficulty. And knowing Sturgeon's Law, 90% of the stages are going to be below par, aka they're going to be substandard or worse. So far, this stage isn't that bad. None of the enemies or level design is on the unfair side, it's on the okay side. Nothing too remarkable, but nothing too bad. Suddenly a red force beam segment. I wish there was a better warning that was gonna happen. Especially because we teleport right in there. We don't even have flash stopper or time slow. Here we go again. Wow, that was a close one at the end. Don't like how that challenge was introduced. Should have been a warning in advance. Same with this one, actually. Well, at least there was a checkpoint before, so it wasn't too bad. And there's always those large life pickups at the checkpoints, so there's no need to do a quick reset. Sparkman and a large life pickup, good. First stage wasn't that bad. Only real stain on the stage was the sudden red force beam segment, where the red force beam starts spawning in really fast. There's no delay. There is a delay, but it's only 1 second. And sadly because of it, I'm 1 life down. Second level is Night of Dawn by Mediocrenep. Good, I'm back up to 10 lives. If this run ends in failure, that'll be the end of the video. This was a short level. Not complaining though, especially with the limited number of lives. A very easy boss fight as well. Two down, 8 to go. Normally I wouldn't be too worried about going through these stages with 50 lives, but with such a limited set of lives, and how these stages can range in difficulty from being very easy to extremely hard, that's why I'm so worried. It seems that this is going to be one of those longer stages as well. Good introduction to the Coltons, and sort of good introduction to the Potons. Same with the fire bars here. Would have liked if these conveyor belts were first introduced in a safer environment, or in isolation I mean. Now we're combining usage of all 3 gimmicks, well 2 gimmicks in the enemy. And now we're introducing usage of springs. This stage from the onset is already a lot better than the previous 2 stages. It feels decent, I'd say. It feels that all of these enemies and objects and gimmicks were placed with purpose, not randomly strewn around the place. Would have liked this stage focused on a smaller set of gimmicks, but this works. Checkpoint placement of this stage is definitely on point. Now you swap over to Proto Man. Although it seems that Proto Man suffers from double damage. Rats, I didn't mean to do that. Is there a checkpoint nearby? Thank you. In that last shooting gallery, we needed to use Proto Man's shield to reflect the shots back at the enemies. Or just slide under them, but that's a lot more risky to do. No surprise Coltons here. If this stage was more poorly made, or by a more amateurish level designer, there would be some surprise ones, but there aren't. Vertical segment combining usage of the Coltons and the springs. Tuning forks? No, Y, E, E, H, A, W. Yeehaw, I see. Nice way of ending it off. Definitely well designed, 6.5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. Nice traditional level. I'd say that this is currently my favorite level to part. Let's see how it stands out against the rest though. Infiltrate and Find the Jerk by Roiler. Huh, I played a stage by Roiler before. That's interesting. Another one of those longer levels it seems, 40 screens. So those screw bombers are essentially indestructible, and the only way to get past them is to dodge their attacks. Should have just relied on the Mega Buster there. I do want that E-Tank. Not for this stage, but for future stages during this run. This stage is also okay. It certainly won't win any awards, but it's almost decent. Checkpoint placement is also good. If I had a larger selection of lives, or I was playing this stage normally in one of the most popular queue parts, random level parts, or viewer submitted level parts, I'd play a lot more recklessly. Nothing more to say about the stage other than it is fun. In some ways, it feels like a modified Wily Fortress level. I guess this is the end of the stage. Sparkman with a Sniper Joe cohort on the left. Or Sparkman can just kill himself by falling off screen. That works too. Rather anticlimactic, but the stage itself was fun. Nice checkpoint placement, nice introduction of most of the gimmicks, and nice difficulty escalation. Probably my honorable mention of the part. 4 down, 6 left to go. Fifth up is Ultimate Castle Level 1 by BladeKnight. That name seems promising. Of course, many of the stages with promising names don't end up being that good anyway. We seem to be getting a lot more levels on the longer end too. That's why I'm a bit worried of doing a Wily Challenge run using a long Wily Fortress. If that ends up being 20 to 25 levels long, it'll take probably 90 minutes to complete it, 60 to 90 minutes. Unless I get a series of long levels, in that case it can take up to 2 to 3 hours. Maybe I'll do it on stream, but if I do it pre-recorded, I'll probably split it into 2 videos. So far, so good. Most of the levels I've gotten aren't that bad. 3 of them are on the decent side, this one included. Another stage that heavily uses the beaks and screw bombers. We've transitioned over from a red fortress to a purple fortress. Quite a bit of mandatory special weapon usage, but I don't mind it, it's a fortress stage after all. Also have several special weapons that I probably should be using more. Okay, that was a bit odd. Good checkpoint placement as well. It's not as difficult as the previous 2 stages, so the checkpoint density can be lower. Overall, I say that this is also another good stage. Well, decent stage at most. 6.5. I say that the second part of the stage, the one with the purple fortress, is more fun than the first part of the stage. It has better pacing and better enemy choices. Having to do a stop-go motion every time I faced the screw bombers and the beaks wasn't that fun. This is fun though. Now, if someone could drop a large life pickup, this works too. Time to face Fairman, with 2 Wall Blaster cohorts. Three decent levels so far, and 2 subpar levels. 5 left to go though, and we're already 22 minutes in this run. I'm hoping that we get some shorter levels, and hoping that I don't get any Kaizo stages. If I do get some Kaizo stages, I'll very likely just skip them. Power Plant Attack by King D. I said this in the previous 2 Wily challenge runs, but I'd like to see what the level IDs are for each of the stages, right on the intro screen or at the ending of the Wily run, because that isn't shown in either one of them, even though there's enough space, especially in the latter. Charge kick level. Well, okay then. Is that a trap? No, it isn't. 4 choices. Let's take the lower left one. Oh, that's it. I guess each of the teleporters leads to a different ending point. My wish for a short stage has been granted. I thought that the intro screens were leading up to a tutorial teaching us how the charge kick works. Down into the Catacombs by MegaGamer353. Oh goody, the default tile set of Cutman, plus a plain blue background. Just a regular set of Matools. No clear indicator of where to go to next, without hugging the walls. Oh, an M-Tank, thank you. This will be helpful in future levels. Very short stage, and a immediate fight against Cutman. This is definitely one of the first levels that the creator made. I'd say that this was the lowest effort stage I played so far. Not only in this series, but also in previous runs. Four left to go. Oh, not four, actually 3. Those darn lasers by Inkling Studios. Oh no, a Quickman-oriented stage. No weapons at all, and no sliding either. Only jumping and shooting. Well, just jumping. A recreation of Quickman stage? Looks to be one. Only a recreation of the upper part of Quickman stage with the quick lasers. Felt like the red force beam timings were a bit more forgiving. Toe jumping by Lemminxd. I see what they mean by toe jumping. Another low effort stage, it seems. It's still higher effort than the Cutman stage I went through. It's at least using a different background tile set. Background and foreground tile set. Spoke too soon, we have a random water tile here. Another stage that was created by a creator who was testing out things. And decided to upload it to the server. After all, we fight Toadman right over here. Who has decided to just try using his rain dance attack all this time. Thank you for cooperating very well. It seems that the levels I'm getting in the second half of this run are shorter in general compared to the first half of this run. Vinny Vinesauce softly gets japed by some user. Reference to Vinesauce here. Japed by what, though? A lot of red enemies and red gimmicks here. Unified color scheme. Of course, red force beams. Hopefully this is not a troll level where the end of the stage was actually really close to the beginning of the stage. Not gonna risk doing a spring jump over there unless I hit an enemy first. That free tank will be useful. I knew I was able to reach it from here. Suddenly we have a purple enemy. And a yellow enemy. And a green one. So much for the red unified color scheme. I'm surprised that All the stages I've covered so far in this run understand checkpoint placement. Either proper checkpoint placement or over-generous checkpoint placement. None of the stages have a checkpoint starvation problem. Which is a plus in my book. Crash Man. I don't get it. How did Vinny get japed over here? There were no troll maneuvers whatsoever, outside of maybe one or two Yoku block positionings. That was the last stage in this run as well. Well, this wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. I only died once or twice, probably only once. That's something else I would like to see in the end screen. A breakdown of statistics of what I've done in this run, like number of enemies killed, number of life pickups, how much damage I took, how many times I died, how many extra lives I collected. Those would all be nice. 3, 4, and 5 were definitely the highlights of this run. Other ones are rather forgettable. Nonetheless, they weren't in the painful side. I totally expected to get a Kaizo or Troll level, similar to during my first run, but nope. So my next run will probably be another medium-length fortress on hard mode, or a long-length fortress on either easy or normal mode. Well then, in the next part, I'll be covering several more Veer Submitted levels. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!